Hey everybody, welcome to GGS Railways. My name is Greg. This is my YouTube channel. Today I thought we'd experiment with lighting up some Plasticville buildings. This is something that I've seen on YouTube. Other folks do it before. We're going to use the parchment paper method that I've seen, and we're going to use, for the time being anyway, a temporary one of these light puck things that you buy at, well, anywhere. And we're going to stick it inside and see how it lights up, whatever. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Let's get started. I'm going to get this zoomed into where you guys can see what we're actually doing and see what I see. We'll probably have to at some point turn on and off these lights. So excuse that aspect of the video. I don't know any other way to show this lit up because these lights are quite bright. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so some of the supplies I have here is, of course, the parchment paper. You can get this pretty much anywhere. I've got a razor blade knife, although I think it's pretty dull. Got some scissors. Got a glue pen with super glue for little tight spots possibly, and just some regular super glue, and of course some tape to try it out before we glue anything. And then once again this little puck light. The one I got is remote control, but you don't need that. Like I said, I'm going to probably, if this winds up being on a permanent layout of some sort, we're going to probably do a more permanent type solution lighting wise, so we don't have to replace batteries into infinity. So, oh, and also I have some alcohol in case there's anything I don't want to clean off or whatever. I went ahead and just, before the video started, I kind of wiped it all down just to get anything off, because I'm not sure what our ability to clean this once we get the parchment paper in there will be. So I've seen a couple of videos on how to do this, and I've seen the way that other people have done it. I'm wondering if I just want to do the parchment paper over the windows and let the building glow a little bit more, or if I want to do like whole sheets fitted to the walls of the building to maybe give the building a little less of a glow, but then the light comes through the windows. I'm not quite sure on that. I guess we'll experiment with that. And then I also have some colored non-opaque, I think these were actually for binder separators. And I don't know, I thought that might look kind of cool up here in the window. Now that we've got that all glued together, that may not be a possibility, but we'll experiment with it nonetheless, and we'll see what we can do. We might even do it maybe here on the door or something. So I don't know. Likely as not, we will do this trial and error like. Okay, so I'm just going to start by simply getting a piece of parchment paper that I think is going to be approximately big enough. I think we'll do maybe the front wall first. And once again, we're going to use the tape to start with. We won't glue it in until we like it. All right, so looks like this parchment actually has squares marked off. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, so that'll make it a little easier, I think, for us to measure. So let's see. I'm going to use the factory edge to start with, just because it'll make my life a little bit easier, I think. So let's see. Looks like that wall falls exactly on this line, and you see the little scissor mark. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. I'm just going to cut this along the line. All right, so that's approximately the size of our first wall here, lengthwise. Now height-wise, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm not sure if I want the parchment paper to go all the way up to the roof. The roof, in theory, should not glow quite as much as the white plastic, just because it's colored. But I don't know. I'm going to just cut it to the wall right now, and then if we find that we want it on the roof, we can always do that. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this maybe a little big, and then it can hang out the bottom, and then I can cut it off at the bottom maybe. Sound like a plan? I think that sounds like a good plan. So, all right. Later on, I think we definitely need to run trains because this might be a little boring for you guys. So all right, let's see. How does that fit? Did I mention that I failed, the straight line thing? So all right, we're just a little bit too big here on our wall. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off. I don't think I have to be exact. And maybe we don't need it like this at all. Maybe we can just do it like I've seen other people do, where you just simply put it in front of the windows. So, I don't know. Probably making this more difficult than it really is. So, all right. That looks like, well, looks like if I put it this way, it might be easier. So, okay, yes, that seems to work okay. So, like I said, I'm just going to tape this in here for now. I don't think we're going to leave the tape because I think you'll see the tape when it's lit up. I don't really want to see the tape. Wow, that's some really crummy tape. Now, I believe that tape is dollar store variety, so kind of get what you pay for maybe. So, all right, I think that's more or less at the top. Possibly if I had this to do over again, I wouldn't have glued it first. Because probably this would be a heck of a lot easier if it wasn't glued, but it is, so we're going to live with that. Oh, it just occurred to me I'm doing the back wall. That's okay. It's okay. That's okay. So, tape is being a little clumsy here, or I'm being a little clumsy. Something's being a little clumsy. Okay, so my other piece of, well, this isn't working out very well. The tape isn't sticking to my parchment paper very well. Okay, so what I'm finding here is that my parchment paper doesn't want to lay flat because the door is slightly inset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this in here and I'm going to mark where the door is. And then I think we can just cut that out for right this minute. So all right, I don't think it has to be like really exact. As a matter of fact, I guess in theory, maybe the hole will need to be just slightly larger than the door so it will seat around that frame. But that's probably overthinking it. So here's Greg's artistic abilities right here. Don't tell anybody. All right, let's see what we can do here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it from the bottom as opposed to trying to cut it out. All right, did that make any sense? Probably not. All right, looks pretty good. All right, let's see if we can get this little corner. All right, I don't remember seeing this difficulty part in other videos. I think people probably edit their videos a lot heavier than I do. It's all right. So now, as you can see, I can lay that in there, and I can lay it mostly flat, I think. So that's pretty cool. All right. So let's see what it looks like now. It looks pretty good. I'm liking that. Okay, I think you'll agree that the abandoned mansion look is not quite so great. This is what it looks like prior to the parchment paper. Okay, as you can see, I put parchment paper on the full walls of each wall, top to bottom. I didn't do the roof. I don't think that's going to matter that much. I mean, the roof will glow a little bit, but that's okay. And then, this is the back wall. Once again, I did the yellow on the door and the yellow above. On the yellow, I did the clear, and then the colored divider material, the plastic, and then I put parchment paper over it. I kind of like the way it looks. So then, of course, the other wall, as you can see, I didn't do it perfect, and I was a little bit worried that, for instance, where it doesn't come all the way down here, that it would create a mark when it's lit up, but it doesn't. And So that's good to know. So who wants to see this lit up? Okay, so even with it unlit, it looks much nicer, I think. It no longer looks like an abandoned house, but then when you turn on the lights, wow. that was worth doing, guys. That's awesome. That looks like a very stately building for our train layout. So all right, let's move on. Okay, so we have the mansion completed, and then we have the other larger house that we got the other day that's not yet started, and I just thought we would compare them before we wrap up this video and move on to something else. As you can see, the red house on the right is looks kind of abandoned and not just real great, not homey, and the mansion, it looks pretty nice, and then it's even more dramatic when you light it up. So yes, yeah, that's a really big difference. So okay guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. We will do the rest of the videos, and I will show you those when they're complete. I don't guess we need to do a video for each one. I mean, you see how it was done, and of course there's other YouTube videos out there of how it's done. The only thing that I learned was that my tape would not stick to the parchment paper, which makes sense because, you know, you use the parchment paper so that your cookies and so forth won't stick, so that makes total sense. So I did learn that. So I did super glue it in there, so I think that'll work really well. Perhaps a different kind of tape would have worked better, I don't know. But I'm totally happy with the way it came out. So, all right guys, and until next time, GGS Railways out. Oh hey, wait, I forgot, I promised a train video, here it comes. Okay, so as promised, we have the train video, and we have the lit buildings on the track. We have the one that's finished, and then we have the one that's not yet finished, but it's lit up just the same. I think they look pretty nice. I might be a little prejudiced. I do think that this one's a little too bright, but of course, you know, when we get it to a permanent bulb and power supply, as opposed to, you know, this puck, I think it won't be quite as glaring. Either way, I think it looks nice, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. Now, just to compare it to the other one, see, that just looks like a I'm not even sure what that looks like, but it's definitely not as nice. All right, I'm zoom this back out. I'm gonna let you guys watch the trains for a little bit, and I think we're gonna call it a night. It's been a pretty good little Sunday here. I hope you guys enjoyed your day as well. Always happy to spend some time with you guys and hang out, talk about trains, and well, I guess buildings and parchment paper apparently. All right, I'm going to be quiet, I promise. Everybody, I appreciate you guys for watching the video, putting up with my shenanigans, putting the, the parchment paper in the Plasticville here. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun watching. Like I said, there are other videos out there on YouTube about how to do that, and possibly there's a better technique than what I used, although I'm not at all unhappy with how mine turned out. So okay, for all our returning subscribers, thank you. We could not do this without you. We appreciate you guys. You guys are, of course, just like family to us. So if you're not yet a subscriber, why not? Alright guys, well, I think this is about it. This time for real. GGS Railways out.